For morning manna. As some of you know, I enjoy history, particularly American history. I just have an appreciation for it. And let's go back to 1630. That's a while ago. So nearly 4 centuries ago, 1630, the very large Christian community in our own nation, which was in the Northeast and part of the British colonies at that point in time, was concerned about the men going into the ministry. So they established a Christian university. In fact, the motto of that university was given Truth for Christ and the Church. And a solid Christian university there in our northeastern colonies in 1630. Well, was named after John Harvard. And of course, that's what we know today as Harvard University. I believe that their motto has been modified, if you would, or just changed to a certain degree. I think we're aware of that. But just this week, they elected a new chaplain. His name is Greg Epstein. He's their new chaplain, and as their university chaplain. And he's written a book that has come to acclaim. In fact, I won't even mention the title. All that to say is that Greg Epstein is a pronounced atheist as their chaplain. So he makes no bones about it. He's not hiding behind religion of any sort, but he's just plain old atheist. Why was he popularly elected? Not simply amongst the students, but amongst supposedly qualified academicians. A chaplain who's a pronounced or self-acclaimed atheist has no use for God, but is a good communicator and good at drawing people together. You know, I'm not suggesting that Greg Epstein by any means is the AntiChrist, but that's going to be the trait of the AntiChrist, a desire by mankind at large to find a man who's a good communicator and one who will draw people together. And that's not on the Harvard campus, but the global community, which we yearn for. The people yearn for that one who will solve problems and draw people together, and a good communicator. And we see that just that desire increasing. But I want to take us back to solid ground. Let's leave the campus at Harvard, and let's go to the upper room in John chapter 17. And Jesus is praying for his disciples. And we pick up this prayer in John 17. I'm going to pick it up in verse 13 of John 17, midway through his prayer that we have recorded for us in the gospel. Now, let me just read to you, and I'm going to pause a time or two for a brief comment. John 17:13, Jesus praying, "But now I come to you, and these things I speak in the world, that they may have my joy fulfilled in themselves. I've given them your word, and the world has hated them because they are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. I do not pray that you should take them out of the world, but that you should keep them from the evil one. They are not of the world, just as I'm not of the world. Sanctify them by your truth, and your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, I also have sent them into the world. And for their sakes I sanctify myself, that they also may be sanctified by the truth." Let's continue on. "I do not pray for these alone, but also for those who will." That's a pause of mine right there. I pause at that point. That's you and I, those who will. He says, I don't pray for these alone. That would be the disciples. Judas would be absent, so that'd be Jesus with his 11 at that point in time. But he also prays for those who will. That's Jim and Julie and you others, believers throughout the globe. I pray for those who will. Isn't that great? We've been prayed for by Jesus. Long ago, his thoughts were towards us before the foundation of time. But here we're reminded in a upper room in Jerusalem, just before him going to the cross, he was praying for those who will believe in me through their word, that they all may be one as you, Father, are in me, I in you, that they also may be one in us, that the world may believe that you sent me. The glory which you gave me, I've given them, that they may be one, just as we are one. I in them, you and me, that they may be perfect in one, that the world may know that you have sent me and have loved them as you have loved me. Just a reminder of God's great love for us in little Newburgh, wherever we may be, on the Harvard campus, the great love of God. Father, I desire that they also whom you gave me may be with me where I am, that they may behold my glory, which you've given me. For you loved me before the foundation of the world. O righteous Father, that the world has not known you, but I have known you, and these have known that you sent me. And I've declared to them your name, and will declare it, that the love with which you love me may be in them, and I in them. Latter portion of John 17. So God bless you as we say a hearty amen and Maranatha.